Jakarta is a modern global capital, stunning wealth, but it also has crushing poverty, and that underbelly often remains hidden. But a popular documentary has put it in the spotlight. Video journalist Peter Wall brings us the story of JALANAN, or Street Side, a film that held up a mirror to society, changed the conversation in Indonesia, and was made by a Canadian.
As far as documentaries go, JALANAN has defied expectations. A gritty, intimate look at the world of Jakarta's street musicians. It documents and puts a human face on the extreme contrast between rich and poor in one of Asia's largest cities. The film follows the triumphs and struggles of the musicians Ho, Titi, and Boni. And here in Indonesia, it's a hit. It's the most successful documentary in the country's history and has received gushing reviews. Incredible, considering it's by a first-time filmmaker and a Canadian.
Udah lihat di TV? Kick Andy.
For the last 15 years, Daniel Ziv has made the streets of Jakarta his stomping ground and his obsession. You could say the filmmaker, author, and journalist knows the city inside out.
Hello. Hey, hello. Hey.
Today, he's meeting two of the three street musicians from his film under this bridge in the center of the city.
Jadi siap buat pemutaran.
Ziv has spent years writing, thinking, and commentating on Indonesia. He founded Jakarta's first city magazine, has written travel books on the city, and as of late, moved into filmmaking.
Well, I spent a lot of my professional time pounding the pavements of Jakarta and trying to understand life in Indonesia at street level. And one day I encountered this incredible subculture or community of street musicians who hacked out a living, jumping on and off buses, and basically bringing their songs to a live audience of bus commuters. And I thought this was a life story I really couldn't ignore.
That encounter led to a relationship with Ho, Titi, and Boni. He followed the street musicians for 5 years, and a significant portion of his film was shot here, a sewage tunnel Boni calls home.
It's like another universe under here. It sits below some of the most glamorous shopping malls and five-star hotels in Jakarta, but it's a completely different reality.
Asik musik semua dari kalian ya?
But now, another reality. Since the film's release, Ziv and the street musicians are media darlings.
Kita sudah hadirkan di sini. Tada, ada Daniel Ziv.
They've even made a stop on Indonesia's version of The Tonight Show.
Satu kata yang mewakili Indonesia, apa tuh?
Wah, itu sulit sekali karena begitu banyak hal yang menarik di Indonesia. You know, I hoped it would find an audience, and I think that's what every filmmaker hopes. I didn't know what that audience would be, and I never imagined that rather than finding, say, audiences in foreign film festivals in Europe and North America, I never thought that the film would resonate most powerfully here in Indonesia. And indeed, a lot of people have been sort of describing it as a very Indonesian film.
And resonate it has, in part because it's so different from what's usually produced here.
Nearly all the media in Indonesia, film and TV, is produced by the rich, about the rich, through soap operas, etc., and made to be consumed by the poor on tiny television sets in big urban slums across the country. What's different and unique, I think, about JALANAN is that it's a story told really through the unique voices and perspectives of the marginalized poor, and amazingly, at some of the fanciest shopping malls and the glitziest theaters in the country, is being consumed by the rich.
And today, the film is being shown to a different kind of audience. The powerful. Ziv and the musicians from the film have been invited to City Hall. The new governor of Jakarta has asked to screen the documentary.
It's exciting. It's full circle for this film because the film offers some pretty heavy criticism of the government and the city government in particular. So the fact that the new governor and deputy governor have embraced this film as sort of constructive criticism is pretty amazing. Ini Ho, ini Boni, bintang film JALANAN.
The governor spends 20 minutes talking with Ziv and the musicians about Jakarta's poor and his government's policies.
I never thought we'd get a reception quite like that, and I think he just made their year. So anyway, the day's off to a good start.
And then, showtime.
Orang susah ya mungkin ada. Nah ini mau gabung, manusianya nggak mau gabung.
As usual, the film's a hit. And after, the governor says he was moved by the film.
Yeah, I feel very sad why the Indonesian country still have like this. You could see there's a very wide gap between the rich and the poor.
But there's more. The governor tells local media he'll instruct top officials to adopt a more humane approach to street people. The city will work to reform low-cost housing, increase access to health care, and improve communications. He even gives his personal cell phone number to the 3 street musicians. It's almost too much to believe.
Saya pikir dia yang garang, yang ya siapnya lu gitu. Ternyata dia terbuka sekali.
And for Ziv, it's a fairy tale ending to a film that's been years in the making.
I can't imagine a filmmaker hoping for or receiving a better reaction or reception to their film. This is really exceeded anywhere I thought this film would go because it's resonating so powerfully, locally, politically, socially. It's really something I never expected.
Peter Wall, CBC News, Jakarta.